up for the free WagerTalk text club to gain access to free plays and exclusive discounts. Just text WagerTalk to 33222 to sign up and get a $10 coupon to use on WagerTalk.com.
Hey guys, welcome back right here to WagerTalk TV. It's time for Puck Time. I'm your host, Andrew McInnis, joined by Carmine Bianco and Buster Sports in his usual Tuesday spot. And I'm happy he is in his Tuesday spot because it sounds like the Montreal Canadiens can't lose when Buster comes on the show the next day. So Buster, always happy to have you on. Today's games, guys, Bruins, Devils, Blackhawks, Hurricanes, Penguins, Flyers, Islanders, Sabres, and the Oilers and the Canucks. As you guys can tell, quite a few back-to-backs, quite a few repeats, as some would say. But new goaltenders, new situations, new statistics, and we'll try and break it down for you. It's also $2 Tuesday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. Ross Benjamin is the hot handicapper at SportsMemo, and some young guy in a tie is also that guy at WagerTalk.com. Carm, what's up, man?
You are looking absolutely sharp, my friend. A down night for me in NHL. Lost a couple of units, but more importantly, I lost my play on the Penguins. They absolutely did not show up right from puck drop. So it's not one of those ones about puck luck or anything like that. They did not look good, and they made Alex Lyon look like a Vezina Trophy winner in that. They just couldn't get anything going. Apologized to everyone who followed along. That was a bum of a play. And you know what my punishment is? The background that I'm about to see right now as we introduce one of my good friends live from somewhere in Mexico, Don Buster. Buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Carmine. And you know what, Carmine? You're so good at all those 5%ers. I've watched and won with you in soccer lots of times. So those things happen, brother. You know that. Can't win them all, as they say, and you win a lot. So as for myself, things are good. Had a great month of April, great month in hockey. Hoping to get that going in May. And for everybody that got my golf this week, had Sam Burns at 80-1.
Yeah.
Put it out on Twitter at 70-1. So that was nice. So a lot of people, since I've been pretty hot in April, bought a bunch of packages there for the month and 3-month packages. So even if you bet $5, you grabbed 400. So yeah, pretty pleased with that pick. And we've been pretty hot in golf, pretty hot in everything, and hopefully no regression to the mean comes for me.
Dude, that was one hell of a hit on an 80-1 prop and stuff. And yes, we always have you on Tuesdays. And I mentioned on yesterday's show, while not a betting angle, I thought it was ironic that you're on Tuesdays, and going into last night's game, the Montreal Canadiens were 7-2 this season on Mondays. Andrew, how did they do last night? I can't remember who they beat.
They might have taken on the Leafs. They might have won in overtime, and that same guy might have scored in overtime back-to-back games. That was crazy. Carm, I think Buster's being a little bit light here for a second. I mean, this guy is over 100% bankroll increase in the month of April. Buster, congratulations, man. You're a humble guy. I know you don't want to break out those numbers. You're hitting outright winners. You're increasing bankrolls. You're hot in NHL. Congratulations to you, Buster. Everybody go check out Buster's packages and ride with him through the playoffs, because it seems like all three of us are hot right now. But Buster, congrats, man. You're doing really well.
Well, I was just going to say, Andrew, talking about hot, it seems like, you know, the regular four guys on this Puck Time show and you and Carmine, both you guys have had huge months. Andrew, I saw on Twitter where you were like 21-2. You know, brother, you know how tough that is to do? You might not do that again in another 10 years. 21-2, it's unbelievably tough. And I'm not being an idiot about that. I'm just telling you, I've been doing this for 38 years, unfortunately, or fortunately, actually, for me. But I'm just saying, it's very tough. It's very tough. So congrats to you guys. And I hear Brian Leonard's done very well. So guess what? Make sure you lock all us up for Puck Time. Don't allow anybody else on, because I'm sure all the other handicappers will want to be on this show so they too can have awesome months. So anyways,
Definitely. I appreciate that. That run is now. That run is now 24-7.
Let's just keep it going tonight.
Definitely. We'll try and keep it going. We'll get into today's game. That runs now 24-7. My first losing night in a couple weeks. Last night, try and rebound tonight. Blackhawks, Hurricanes, guys. I mentioned off the top, we were seeing a lot of games that we saw yesterday, but that's okay because a lot of games we had some great reads on, Carm, so we'll try and do it again today and see if anything really changes our minds. But the Blackhawks, you mentioned yesterday, they had a great stretch. You know, they looked talented. They had their goal scorers were playing well. They got some good goaltending, but I felt like their goaltenders kind of just wore tough. You know, they got a little bit tiresome, and the Hurricanes were just a little bit too much for them. 5-2 result last night. Hurricanes are rolling. And I think it really proves my point that teams like the Hurricanes, they all have something to battle for. They're not just packing it in and settling for their playoff spot. They all have something to compete for. I don't really see anything changing here in this game, Carm. You know, I used to think that the second game, or the more you extend a series or a set, as some might call it, you'll see more goals and fatigue. And I say that for a lot of different scenarios. It's actually a lot of my bigger plays at the website. But in this game in particular, a phrase that you actually taught me, Carm, the better team dictates the pace. And I feel like here in game 2, we'll see an under with Carolina and Chicago. I feel like we'll see a more relaxed game. Carolina will get the lead, protect it. And right now, the Blackhawks just can't keep up with them. So I'm on the under in this game. Slight lean back to Carolina again, but I'll take my money from yesterday and move on as far as the side goes.
Yeah, I gave this out to my clients yesterday. I gave it out as a free play on the WagerTalk free play site, and it's right up there again today as a free play. If it's the old adage: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's listen, the Canes can see the finish line, and I'm hoping that they finish first in this division because I have a futures bet on them to win the division at plus 240 that we talked about in our preseason show. And a win tonight essentially locks Florida out of a chance of Florida only has a couple games left. It'll lock Florida out of a chance of that top spot. And pretty much they'd have to fall apart for Tampa Bay to overtake them as well, too. So, you know, with that said, you know, the Hawks were eliminated last night. They only 17 shots on net. That's all they registered in a game where it wasn't a must win for them. And you shouldn't cap based on must wins. But the Canes were the better team. There was, that game needed a little help to get it over the total yesterday. And at 6, Andrew, I've got to agree with you that it's likely another Canes win in regulation time. Minus 155 is what I put up as a free play. And I would lean to the under as well, too. I think it's a game we see similar to what we saw yesterday, and then these two teams play one more time, and that's pretty much it for the Hawks. They're ready for the offseason.
They're ready for some golf, man. Their season is done. They're ready for the sunshine, hopefully find somewhere warmer. We're on the same page, Buster. Carmen and I agree here. We'll look at Carolina in regulation and the under. And yesterday, I kind of said there could be a flat spot for this Carolina team. They beat a lot of bad teams like Columbus, Detroit, and it was the opposite for Chicago. They had played Tampa Bay. They had played Florida. So I look at that game, and I was kind of questioning it, but then I realized, you know what? Carolina does have something to play for. Chicago, they didn't have anything to play for. But game 2, how do you approach it, Buster? I mean, this year, how have you approached in general, you know, these teams playing each other so many times back to back to back?
A lot of times for me, and I hate like doing this right off the bat, but I'm going to disagree with the two hosts of the show here. I guess the host and co-host.
That's okay.
I'm going to come right back with the over here. I actually, in games, and I've talked about this often, in that second back-to-back, the 24 hours, the teams don't play as much defense. That seems to be the way it is. Sorry.
Sounds like Buster is disagreeing with us, Carm. That's why we have just booted him off the show. No, all jokes aside, we haven't booted him. Buster, back to you, man. You are on the over, it sounds like.
Yeah. Apologies again with the Mexican Wi-Fi. I guess I'm not too sure why it goes like that, but anyways, I'm right on the trigger to get right back on when it does go. So, and I think that's exactly what happened. And I think you guys just gave me the boot right when I said I disagree with you guys. You probably said, you know what, forget it. Let's just cut him right off the bat. Don't even want to hear what he has to say. So, anyways, tonight's going to be Reimer and probably Lankinen. And Lankinen, although he's played fantastic early, he's been pretty bad late, letting in probably 3 or 4 goals a game lately. Carolina just dominated that game last night. Gotta believe Chicago's going to, try to put up a little bit more of an effort. 17 shots, not much. Carolina still needs to win these games because they want that first place. And even though it looks like they're pretty good grasp of first place, they don't want to falter here. 5 out of the 6 games between these guys have gone over this total, or maybe pushed. I actually believe they all have got 5 out of the 6 have gone over. I'm going to go over here. I can't lay the one. I saw 170, Carm, so in regulation. So I know you said you got 155. Great, that's great for you. I can't lay. Obviously, you can't lay 245. Can't lay the other in regulation. I think the over's a play here, and that's where I'm going to be.
All right, Buster, going head to head with us. It's okay, though. It's all good. It has to happen sometimes on the show. It's going to happen. Our next game here, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Huge rivalry, a rivalry that's been going on for a long, long time. Penguins minus 170, Flyers plus 145. And, Carm, I'm just as shocked as you are. It's no secret that was a huge shocker, what we saw. You beat the line move. There was a huge, huge movement in that game yesterday. And like you said, Alex Lyon looked like a Vezina nominee yesterday, some of the saves that he made. We can't say the Penguins didn't have their chances. There are highlight packs out there on YouTube of saves that Alex Lyon made last night. There were face-off wins in key moments. There were dangerous scoring opportunities for Pittsburgh that they will get again tonight, and they will make Philadelphia pay. And guys, I think it's very easy a lot of the time to bet on teams in bounce back situations, bounce back scenarios. But Carm, Buster, we've seen it all year long. You can't just do that. You can't auto bet it. You can't auto bet bounce back scenarios. It's just not something you can do. But in this scenario in particular, again, a stat that I always use with certain teams get blown out that weren't expected to. Pittsburgh 26-10, their last 36 after scoring 2 or fewer. And also they've done really well on back-to-backs. They've also done well bouncing back after just one game, then playing the next day after scoring 1 or 2 goals. Everything lines up here, Carmine. And some might say, well, Philadelphia, they saw the puck go in. They could build some momentum. But, this might be, just the personal bias in me and my personal opinion, all the stats out the window. I think Philadelphia, they got up for that game. They have nothing to play for. They got up for that game. It's a rivalry game. They have to be feeling good about themselves. It's back to playoff mode. It's back to playoff push for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I actually didn't have a play on this game last night. Tonight, I will step up and in with the minus 105 is the price I got it. Pittsburgh in regulation.
Yeah, listen, obviously these are hated rivals, if you want to call them that, and the Flyers were after 4 games and 4 not so great games against New Jersey, they were up for it last night. The Penguins probably thought, as did a lot of people, that the Flyers returning home off of 4 not so great games against New Jersey, including 3 straight losses, and starting Lyon in net, who hadn't won a game yet in goal, and it allowed 4 more goals. I think 4, 4, and 5 in the 3 games that he's played. That this was going to be a Pittsburgh victory. Well, before they were actually in it, they were out of it, and I'm talking about the Penguins as they fell behind. They did have those chances, Andrew, and yeah, absolutely, a lot of them on the goal line, a couple of goal posts. But at the end of the day, if they're not in the net, you're losing games. Will they bounce back? I believe they will. As far as building momentum, listen, Philadelphia has been trying to build momentum all year. Why would they do it now with about 4 or 5 games left? You have to go back to January of this year to find the last time the Philadelphia Flyers have won 2 games in a row at home. Since the end of January, in 6 opportunities to win that second game at home, they've gone 0-6. I believe it's going to be 0-7 tonight. I'll take the Pens I'm going to go stick my hand in the frying pan one more time with this Penguins team, but this time take them in regulation time. So Pens in regulation for me, minus 110.
Bounce back time here for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Buster, do you agree with us this time? Can we agree? Can we get a sweep here on the show?
Well, guys, I'm not going to agree. I'm not going to,
Buster. Don't make me squeeze it out of you.
I'm not going to disagree with you guys. I'm not going to disagree with you guys because I do get it, but I'm going to be the devil's advocate like I always am on Tuesdays and just throw a couple things out there. Pittsburgh hasn't won in Philadelphia the last 4 times. Philadelphia crushed them last night. Crushed them on the face-off circle. Crushed them. If that happens again tonight, it makes for a tight game, right? So now you're looking, it might be a very tight game. For me, I don't want any part of either side, especially, and maybe I'll talk about this when we talk about the Islanders game. I cannot believe the size of these road favorites. I mean, the numbers. Vegas just keeps throwing them out there, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. For me in this game, I see it 6.5 under 25. I think you're going to see a 6, maybe over 15 come later on in the day here. These two teams have played 6 out of 7 to the over. Again, you asked me, Andrew, about what I like in a back-to-back, and every one of these games are back-to-back within 24 hours, where I always will tend to lean to the over if necessary, and when the stats and what I see is there. And today, again, I see a little bit of pond hockey out of Philadelphia. I think last night they had a combined for almost 80 shots on goal. I don't see that changing. What might change, Elliott's got the start tonight. He might not be as good as Lyon last night, and he might let in a bunch of goals. So when it gets, I'm hoping it gets to 6, and that's where I'll go with that play. And I'll just cheer you guys on for a 4-3 Pittsburgh win in regulation. How's that?
That works for me.
We appreciate it, Buster. Everybody out there watching the show must think that we're hilarious by talking about how great Alex Lyon played when just last week we were saying everything we could about him, how bad he was, Carm. And now we're saying how great he was last night. Sounds like Brian Elliott has some big shoes to fill. And I never thought I'd be saying that coming into tonight.
Yeah, listen, we talked about it. It was just one of those things, and I think it had more to do with Pittsburgh not being ready to play at the same intensity level that the Flyers came out. No one expected the Flyers to play that well, myself included, and Pittsburgh was just a step behind the whole game. After every Philly goal, the puck was right back in Pittsburgh's defensive zone. So it was definitely one of those games where Philly was up for the task at hand.
Let's jump into our next game here, guys. Go ahead,
Andrew,
Buster.
can I just add one more thing there that Carmine is saying there? And Carmine's right there. The thing is, Pittsburgh's been really another couple of reasons why you might want to tread lightly on Pittsburgh tonight. They've been bad on the road, right? And also they got Malcolm back just last game, and sometimes that screws with the chemistry. I remember when Tarasenko came back with St. Louis earlier in the year, everybody was just, St. Louis is going to be so great and all that. Pittsburgh was playing pretty good, and he came back. And so I'm just saying, guys, just tread a little lightly on this game. I say Pittsburgh hasn't played well on the road, 4 straight losses in Philly, so it's going to be a close game. Hopefully, like I said, Pittsburgh wins for you guys.
Hey, this Pittsburgh play isn't a 5%er for me tonight by any means, Buster, but I do have a 5% play. Shameless plug here. 4-0 MLB 5% plays in April, and I do have one up for tonight. Shameless plug, had to get it out there, Carm. Oilers and Canucks, though, they go back to back. They're playing again tonight. Not much movement. Oilers minus 195, Canucks plus 165. If you guys watched yesterday's show and you've been watching us all year long, what have I told you about Connor McDavid? Right now, we're seeing minus 195 for the Oilers. Same thing I tell you about the Toronto Maple Leafs. How often do the Oilers win and McDavid doesn't score or doesn't get on the score sheet? Every single night, McDavid to get over 1.5 points is plus money. The guy had 2 goals and 2 assists last night, guys. Had a few people jump on that with me. I hope you guys did and start following these props as the betting market become more and more available to these prop wagers. These teams, when they're successful, you have to ask yourself why. Who's doing all the scoring? Who's getting these points? And right now, McDavid, he just keeps on chasing that 100, and he's going to get there, I think, Buster. But Carmen and I touched on this game yesterday, so I'll let you lead us off here, Buster. What are your thoughts on Game 2, Canucks and Oilers?
Yeah, Edmonton looked really good last night again. Vancouver's looks like they've just packed it in. Once they lost those games to Ottawa, they've now lost 5 in a row. Interesting thing here. These guys play 4, like including tonight, they play another 3, so 4 times. And I tell you, I never bet props, Andrew, but you've got, if it's 1.5, you're right. McDavid's he'll get his playing these guys 4 times with the defense at Vancouver teams there. I think they still have another game. Well,
jump in.
Buster, do we have you? Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. And anyways, yeah. So I might play that prop with you because again, I'm gonna probably reiterate this not every game, but for these first 3 games, the total on 6 is pretty late. You get like me and you talk all the time, Andrew. You can get to 6 easy. You get to 6, so you get that push in there. Edmonton might score another 4 or 5 tonight. Demko's in net for Vancouver. I don't know, and it probably will be Smith tonight. I would think these 2 teams have played 4 to 6 overs. I don't think I'm going to get to the window with this bet, but you know what? Maybe I'll go with your play. I like that. McDavid over 1.5 points for sure. He's going to get a couple tonight.
I don't really see any sign of slowing down. That's for sure. This guy is on a mission every single night. Guys, I wish we had our stat master, Ralph Michaels with us, because I'm curious because, I mentioned always that I look for these overs in the second game of a back-to-back or when the teams have played a couple games. But today it sounds like I'm liking the opposite, Carm. I like the under in this game. After seeing a messy, sloppy hockey game, goal-filled yesterday, I'm looking for things to slow down, a good defensive game, and for the Oilers to get a lead and protect it. Like Buster said, man, the Canucks, they've packed it in. I don't really see much out of tonight's game. I think it'll be a lot slower paced.
Yeah, pretty much the Oilers can lock up that second spot. Winnipeg and Montreal would it had to be a weird combo of Edmonton losing every game and Winnipeg or Montreal winning every game to take over that second spot. Edmonton did what I expected them to do, and I talked about on yesterday's Puck Time show, and then I was on Sirius XM yesterday evening, and I talked about it there as well too. That there was really only one play, the way you could play that game, which was literally tie up Edmonton with everything: the over, the puck line, the regulation line, put them into some parlays, which I did as the show best bet, and I don't see what's changed. The Canucks did what I expected last night. They showed a little bit of life, but this is a team that's played 9 games in 16 days, has had to travel from the East Coast back to the West Coast, and they still have, I think, what do they have, 10 plus games? They have 10 games left. But I think the best thing the league could do, and I'm not sure whether they'll do it or not, is Vancouver plays Calgary the last 3 games of the season. If both teams are eliminated, just cancel the 3 games. I know that there's draft implications, but last year when the pandemic hit before the playoffs, they went with a points per game for teams that had played fewer to determine the final standings. Maybe do that here because this Canucks team is absolutely gassed. Can they show something tonight? They probably could. I didn't expect anything from Philly, but this is such a tough situation for a team that hadn't played in 26 days or so due to COVID to squeeze in all of these games, and they still have 10 games to go between now and May the 18th. They're just not going to last. They're going to be or they're going to be plus 200 every single game here on out. After they lose tonight, they are done. Give me the Oilers regulation line, and then I'll probably take a puck line with the Oilers as well too.
Right back on the Oilers there. And Carm, that's right. I forgot to congratulate you. Your NHL puck line or puck time parlay virginity. hard to even get that out, but you cashed it yesterday. First parlay yesterday. You're no longer a parlay virgin on the show. Congratulations. Carolina and Edmonton at a plus price. So that was awesome. That was great. We had a sweep of the best bets. Dave and I both were on Florida last night. Carmine cashed that parlay. Buster, I want to ask you about the total in our next game here. But if you have any other thoughts on this Oilers game and any other final thoughts, but our next game is our Dumper Chase segment with the Devils and the Bruins. And this team has looked locked in. Their goaltending has looked outstanding. Tuukka Rask, 6-0 since coming back from his injury. We won't see him in goal tonight. But the Bruins are a pretty reliable under right now. And they've actually had some trouble against the Devils. The Devils have been pesky against them on the season. But I can't go anywhere with under the total in this one. And the Bruins, well, I just don't like that price. And if I can hear Mr. Don Buster in my head, don't lay those prices, I don't even want the regulation here. Just give me the under.
Well, Andrew, I'm with you on that. I like the under here. These guys have played 6 out of 7 unders. Boston just dominated the first 2 periods of that game yesterday. And Boston, watch out. They slowly but surely might end up a week and a half from now sitting in first place because they have some games in hand. They're not far. I think they're maybe 4 points back. I think that's right. And so anyways, I like Boston here. I do like it under as well. Swayman's going to be in net, I believe, tonight, and Blackwood. But New Jersey has played these guys tough. And so, again, usually I would automatically look to an over. But like I said, those first 3 games I had on the over look. But these next 2 games, I'm looking more on the under because of just the situation of the teams that were New Jersey might not be able to score a goal again. Right? You know what I mean? Like they might have a tough time scoring. Buffalo's going to have a tough time scoring next game again too, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, believe it or not, Andrew, I agree with you on the under here. And again, please do not lay 245. Even if Boston wins 10-0, like please don't lay 245. And also, I'm just curious, does the Prez know that you guys put the P word out there? Like, I'm kind of shocked. I've been on this show, I think this is the 4th year now, or maybe 3rd year. And I remember when the P word was ever brought up, the Prez went apoplectic, crazy, nuts about it. So
Buster,
I'm just curious that now that the P word's coming up, I'm just, you know how I feel about the P word. So
you're lucky I had a great morning this morning, or else I'd be thinking about a different word. But, the parlays have been great for us. The 2 teamers have been awesome. I think we've given out a few on the show. Even Dave is doing a few of them now. Money line parlays. And I think that it's been successful because we're seeing so many teams play the same team so many times. You're playing back-to-backs, laying these huge favorites. And to your point that you always say, Buster, you don't want to lay these prices. So Carmine was able to take Carolina and Edmonton last night and turn those 2 teams together into a plus price. So I understand you don't want people
good
doing
for
too
him.
many
That's
parlays,
nice.
but it was a good call there. But Carm, what are your
very
thoughts
good
here
call.
on this team? You mentioned it. I got to give you credit. You mentioned the Bruins could be a good time to bet a divisional future on them. And one of our followers, he actually tweeted out at us. So love to see that, and great pick by you.
Yeah, listen, that goes back to April 20th, which happened to be 420 for you guys out there. And I know I wasn't smoking anything when I made that prediction, but they looked like they had a very good schedule ahead against the Sabres and these Devils, where they could pick up a lot of wins and take over first spot. And now they're right there, especially with the Penguins faltering yesterday. And this is the scenario: if the Bruins win out their final 5 games, including the final game of the season against Washington, if they beat Washington in regulation time, it doesn't matter what Washington or Pittsburgh does. The Bruins win the division. And at 14-1, are back then would be one of the favorites to win the Stanley Cup and come out of this division. So with that said, listen, got to come right back with the Bruins here. I just don't want to lay the price. It's like Buster says, it's a game they should win. Whether you want to take it in regulation, it's probably not going to be on my betting card because as much as we say it's a game that the Bruins are supposed to win, They were supposed to win one a few games back against the Sabres and laid a complete egg in that game, losing to Buffalo. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that New Jersey, who's played the Bruins tough, do it again tonight. But I'm not banking on it. But I'm also not laying 260 or 270 here. So it's either a regulation type bet where you reduce it to, or one of those split wagers where you reduce it to the Bruins -1 to mitigate the amount of vig that you are actually paying on your bet.
Let's get to our final segment here, guys, our barn burner segment. Looking at a game from a total standpoint, the Islanders and the Sabres. Another set of teams here that played last night. We'll try and find another winning wager for you guys. And I'll just tell you this. The better team dictates the pace, and it happened for a large portion of last night's game, and then it collapsed. This Islanders team blew their lead. I do not expect that to happen tonight. I am going under 5.5, short and simple. I believe the Islanders will play a great defensive game and get their job done. Buster, short and sweet, man. We're kind of tight on time here. What are your thoughts from a total standpoint here?
Short and sweet. I'm with you, Andrew, on the under 5.5. I know it went over last night. The Islanders, literally with a 2-0 lead, decided not to play anymore. If I'm Trotz, I would have lost my shit in that locker room. I can't believe that they let that lead go like that. So tonight you'll see a huge defensive effort, and Buffalo might be lucky. The only thing, Buffalo's power play is pretty good. So if they get those opportunities, then it might be different. But I don't think so. I think Buffalo will be lucky to get 15, 20 shots on goal tonight, and the Islanders will beat them 3-0, 3-1.
Mr. Bianco.
Yeah, as Buster said, the two games in Buffalo prior to last night's were 3-0 and 3-1 wins by the Islanders. That third period was uncharacteristic of Islander games on the road this season, and the Sabres scored 3 goals in the last 9 minutes. And even the shots on goal were 17-15 for Buffalo in that third. That's not the way the Islanders normally play a third period, especially on the road. And that trend was 21-4 for Islander unders on the road going into last night's game. Now, obviously at 21-5, but I'll come right back with under 5.5 here in this game.
Clean sweep. Love to see it. It's been great on the total standpoint, especially on this show. So we all are on the under 5.5. Islanders and the Sabres as they play for the second time in as many nights. We're going to jump into best bets, our power plays on the show, and a few promos, of course, to give things out. I want to mention again, Buster, over 100 bankroll increase, 100% bankroll increase in the month of April, 100+ units. Congratulations to Buster, hitting outright winners, crushing it. Buster, your time is now, man. What's your best bet for today?
Okay, my show best bet today is going to be going right back to that Islander game and how I feel what Trotz will do with these guys after that just a really bad showing about the last half of that game after that 2-0 lead. So we're going to go with my usual first period puck line on the Islanders. I figure they'll get up 1 or 2-0. Buffalo might be lucky to get 5 or 6 shots on goal. So the Islanders puck line -0.5, and it's +120. That's my show play. And if you want to go over to Sports Memo, I've got, if you use promo code BUST20, BUST20, you can get $20 off a 3-day or 7-day all access pass. I'm going to have a golf package up again. Really hot in golf. I've already had 2 outright winners since I started doing these packages. And the reason I started doing them because I was pretty hot. I actually personally I've already had 4 outright winners in golf this year. So, and hitting that 80-1 shot last week. So you never know, might come up with something else. So go over, grab that $20 off a 3-day or 7-day all access pass, and you'll be glad you did.
Good stuff there from Buster. And I mentioned how hot he was running in April. Carmine also running extremely hot in the NHL heading into the playoffs. Carmine, I have no doubt you will keep that going. You're in bounce back mode tonight, but you have been red hot, man. What's your best bet here for today?
Yeah, I'm looking for a third straight year where I predict the Stanley Cup winner. I did it with the Blues a couple of years ago in January, not before the playoffs, and I did it with Tampa Bay halfway through the season where I knew they would come on. we're probably looking at the Canes here. But anyways, as far as the show best bet, one game up in soccer, first of all, today, Champions League game with 6 props in that package. You can get that for only $25. And 3 plays up in NHL tonight. My show best bet, yes, I broke the cherry, as Andrew said, with a parlay yesterday. I'm going to come back and do the exact same thing today. I expect the Islanders to bounce back here against the Sabres, and I expect the Pittsburgh Penguins to do the same. You can parlay those two and get plus 119. With such a short card off of 14 games yesterday and only 5 games today, it's very tough to come up with anything else that we don't have as one of our normal plays up. But I really like this one, and you're getting plus 119 on your money based on the lines that just before we went to air. That's it for me. And Andrew, I wish you the best of luck today on $2 Tuesdays. I know you're going to kill it.
Thank you very much, Carm. I appreciate it. Best of luck to you on your soccer package today, and of course your NHL on the nightly package. And Don Buster with the Islanders first period. Keep on killing it with those plus prices in the first period, Buster. My best bet on the show, guys, is going to be the Penguins minus 105 in regulation. Like Carm said, I am the $2 Tuesday guy. 5% MLB play. In April, I hit 4 straight 5% MLB plays. Let's make it 5 tonight, guys. 5 straight here tonight. I have the Penguins regulation, Carmine, Islanders, Penguins, moneyline parlay, and again, Buster with the Islanders first period, minus a half, plus 120. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow on WagerTalk TV.
Don't miss a single winning play from your favorite WagerTalk.com or SportsMemo.com handicapper when you buy a 7-day all-access package for $119. You'll get every play, including 5% plays that normally sell for $40.